the AI, they made him play against himself 10 million times. So if you try to make that with a human, there's no way in hell, how much time will you have in your hands to make 10 million matches so then you can play. But just so you get the feeling of what's going on right now in AI, eventually you're using GANs, or no? Generative adversarial networks is when you put an AI to compete against the other, and rather than giving people 10,000 options that you'll just get them more confused, at the end you just give them 2 or 3 of the ones that were the most suited for whatever the criteria was that you originally chose. So it's just a very interesting way of getting to do, let me even get one point more basic. I don't know if everybody knows what AI is, but if you want to simplify it in the best possible way, it's just a different way of programming computers. We've been programming computers in a way which is sequential, like a recipe for a kitchen recipe, like step 1, step 2, step 3. And in AI, you just let it see what you're doing, and the AI will find clusters and will find relationships and will find things like we used to do with the statistics, but now this is like with steroids, in a nutshell. So on the retail side, which I think is a very important side, you can see the apocalypse now. Macy's just announced that they're closing down 125 stores or something like that. I read.
Yes, it's happening.
Why do you think, is AI helping at Macy's, or it's helping it die faster, or what do you think?
I think we chose to use AI because it's the right timing for using it. 5 years ago, it was still in this in vitro phase, and right now, AI adoption has become something real, and companies don't even realize that they're using AI already, and in the way that we provide it to them is through its most practical way of thinking of AI. I would like to think of AI of 2 ways of thinking. First, supervised learning and unsupervised learning. Supervised learning is what we do, which is we already know all the tags of the columns we're interested in to know, and we just use great amounts of data to train this supervised learning to give the best results. And I think this AI race is a data race. So the more data you have, the more you're going to be able to develop a solution which is actually generating value to the users. AI consumers don't need to know that they're using AI, but us in the B2B sector, what happens is that most companies don't see where AI is fitting and how is it helping them grow in terms of revenue growth or cost reduction. So basically, our models are trained to help our customers use machine learning in a simple way. So I think AI should start this way, in the most practical way, where companies are actually seeing results of investing in these technologies, and that will lead to a faster adoption for bigger and more important solutions in the future.
How many people here are implementing some kind of AI in their companies? Can you raise your hands? Okay, cool, but it's not enough.
Everyone should be.
We really need to, for me it's a real challenge to make people aware that this is just not just one more technology and it's not hype, that it's really getting everybody, there hasn't been a business, no matter what kind of business you're in, that AI is not making disruption. So I hope that you get that by the end of our talk. Murali, why don't you share give them a little background what Twitch is, because not everybody's into gaming and what have you. Just to give you an idea of one fact, this year the prices for esports, which is this electronic sports, it's $100 million. There's never been a price like that, not even in the Kentucky Derby or in golf or whatever, so just so you understand how big this is. The Fortnite Olympics, or the final, there was a 16-year-old kid that won $3 million playing that. And I don't know how much you are aware of Fortnite, but everybody thinks that that's like the latest and greatest. The other day I went to talk to a friend of mine that is an expert on video games. He told me the top 10 video games, and none of them had to do with Fortnite. So, and I thought I knew a little bit about video games. So, why are you using Twitch and things like that?
Sure. So, just a quick background. Yeah, for people who are probably over the age of maybe 25, video game seems like something you play on like a console and just for a hobby. But as Tony mentioned, it's huge now, and in fact, for kids, that is their sports. It's not esports versus real sports. That's their real sports. What we play is kind of old stuff that they don't really follow anymore. Just to give a context, for the last League of Legends World Championship, the viewership worldwide for that was actually double the viewership for the American Super Bowl. And they regularly beat, even relatively smaller tournaments, regularly beat things like the NBA finals and all these other sort of regular sports viewerships. Right now is being blown away by video games. And they even fill stadiums. So literally they'll get 30 or 40,000 fans to come to the stadium to watch two teams who are in front of their computers on the stage battling each other on this game.